Hello, everybody. We're here live from CES. Josh, I see how excited you are to do this. How you
Yes,
doing, man?
I'm good, good, good.
I shoved him in. We have a live with Tien Wang. There's a lot of craziness in DC. CES is insane, so Tien is a little late. So I brought Josh. Josh, how is CES going so far?
It's been good. See, it's been good. Lots of new tech, which is great. The Nvidia keynote was awesome. Yeah, just
Share a little bit about the NVIDIA keynote. What did they share?
you know, Nvidia over the last like year and a half have really been pushing like Nvidia for the last like 10 years. Always been kind of obviously at the top, but they haven't really been pushing that hard. Now the last couple of years with the whole Gen AI solutions and the new graphics card units, they're just innovating, which is great. It's that 4 years of work that they put in now coming out, which is awesome. So it's
That
really
is
been it's cool.
That's great. So what? How? This is crazy. So if you guys would see, there's like literally hundreds of people walking around. How you are an introvert?
Yes.
You're a tech guy.
Yep.
Okay. How do you handle yourself in situations like that? I'm an extrovert. This is like I love being around people.
Yes.
But how do you make sure that you create what you need out of CES?
You know, I was actually talking to there was an event on yesterday. I was talking to a couple of guys about it, a bunch of tech guys, and they were all like, we were talking about like how they don't like CES. They're like, oh, it's so many people. They don't like talking to people, whatever. And I was like, for a tech person, CES is like game day. You have to perform even if you don't like it. It just is what it is. And from my perspective, I mean, there's the CS is full of engineers, so they want to talk to people too. They feel the exact same thing, so you just get it done. There's so much cool stuff to see, which is awesome. Some of the new innovations have been really cool. One big thing that I've seen, which is I did not expect, was the electric bike hype has hit CES.
The electric bike hype has hit CES,
Yes,
everybody.
yes, which is
Um,
crazy.
so Josh and I are very, very different. I think that's why we're a good team. I got to tell you, like when I said goodbye to Josh in the end of yesterday, like I also almost felt like Josh was like, I'm done with people energy. But he put so much into it. And is this something you would do on a daily basis? No.
No,
Okay. But like you say, this is game day. This is the
yes.
one couple of days of the year that you can really create. Now, people in the chat, do us a favor. Let us know if you can hear us well, if the audio is actually going on. And as we said, Tien is running a little bit late. So we put poor Josh in
Yes.
instead of him. You guys get a treat though. So if you guys can hear us well, let us know. So I would love to share some tips about networking.
Yep.
How do you make sure that you network with the right people in a huge event like CES?
The big thing I always look at is nearly every big conference now has like they have like a party list or an event list or like a drinks party list or whatever it is. Register for as many events as possible to make sure that you're not just wandering around, and trying to get into events last minute. It's painful. So have an agenda, have a plan. Go and try and research who's going to the various different networking events that you're attending. But the big thing is, and some of the greatest conversations that come out of something like CES are never planned conversations. They're
Never.
always random conversations that you spin up. Either someone makes a joke about something, or a great example. I was eating food yesterday, and there was a guy who was holding a chair for somebody, and like 20 people came up and was like, "Can I use that chair? Can I use that chair?" He was like, "No, I'm holding it." And I said to him, I was like, you could start selling that. And then from there we got talking, and it turns out he was one of the VPs of Sony. And then it's like, and then you just talk, and then you have a good conversation, and then a sort of follow up comes out of it. So just talk to people.
People are people.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't matter what title they have, what company they have. It doesn't matter if they have $1 billion under, their net worth, or if they have a couple of bucks. It doesn't matter. People are people. And in the end of the day, let me share something with you on a psychological level. When you go into an event, everybody feels the same way. Everybody feels like everybody else is together and you're alone. Okay.
Yep.
That's just the human way of doing it. So when you go in, come early, introduce people to one another, remember what people do, and let other people know about them. That will make you so powerful within that, and that will make you seem important, like you run this event. And don't be shy.
Yep.
Approach people. You see people standing around talking, approach them. Come and say, "Hi, I am. How can I help you? What do you do?" And don't lead with like the business card. That's like one of the things I hate the most.
Yes.
Don't be one of those people like, here's my
Yes.
business card.
Yes.
Like, do I know you? Do I know what we're going to talk about? So be a human, talk, and figure out what common denominator is. Not everything needs to be, can I sell you something?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you actually shared with me something really cool.
Yep.
When we go and look at some startups, you actually take a look and see if they got investments
Yes.
before we go and talk to them.
Yep.
That is so powerful. I didn't know that. Okay, that's where Josh is kind of really helping me out. But can you tell people, how do you do that? How do you figure out if somebody's actually had an investment in before you go and talk to them?
So this is going to sound really bad, but it's the truth. When I'm in like a startup call with a gazillion different startups, the reality is 90% of them are going to fail. That's just reality. So the way I litmus test and figure out where I'm best spending my time and who I want to, have a conversation with is I'll have Crunchbase open on my phone. Crunchbase is like a database of investors, companies, who's done Series A rounds, who's done whatever pre-seed rounds, whatever it is. So I go on there, I search the company, I check if they've done a Series A, if they've raised money. Generally, if they're capitalized, that means that they're sharp individuals and that they've got some stuff going and that they've, got a good network and it potentially could be a good conversation. Because here's the thing too, and I know it sounds mean, but there's no point me talking to someone who does not have who does not raise money, or if they're a startup. Here's what. They're not going to find value in what I'm talking to them about because they actually are that kind of startup phase. Yeah, they're just not there. Like they don't want to hear about, engineering. They don't want to hear about anything like that, or they're not going to understand the problem because they haven't been there yet. They're still too early in their journey. They'd be much better talking to someone about how they set up HubSpot rather than, actually, dealing with operational scaling or anything like that. So it's good. That's what I do.
It's very interesting because Josh is so right. And after looking at what he did, I looked at the data, and he's so right. People that did not get invested in, they were just in there checking the product, if it fits. They don't even know what the target market is. They're not quite sure of how to go to market. There's so many companies, like cool startup technologies, that I think so much money was involved and they don't really know where they're going to go to market. They tell me, oh yeah, I sell on Amazon. Okay. Or, oh yeah, it's we don't know yet everything. I asked somebody, who's your target market for this? Everybody. No.
It's
No.
the worst answer.
It's never everybody. Okay. What are you selling? Oxygen?
Yeah.
It's never everybody. And can everybody afford it? Does everybody want it? So this really resonated with me, Josh, and I'm going to start checking. I'm going to stop doing, booths that they have a cool technology and a great idea, but they haven't even thought it through. So Josh and I can't help them.
Yeah, well, the other bit is and CES, you get a really broad spectrum of people from a variety of cultures. It's really cool. But you see the level in quality of who they actually put on the booth. Like, I went up to a couple, and I won't say who, but I went up to a couple of booths yesterday, and the person did not even know what the product was. I knew more about the product. And I'm just standing there like, what a waste of time.
And money.
Yeah, what a waste of time. There was some sort of a furniture unit, quite expensive furniture unit. And I asked him, I was like, how much? It was an outdoor unit, so it was obviously going to require maintenance. I was like, how much does it cost to maintain? Crickets. I don't know. Maybe, And then you have people who are there who aren't actually there to sell anything. They're just there to show off. And they literally tell you that. They're like, we're actually not here to really get anything. We just want to show off what we're doing. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, you've shown off. It's pretty cool.
Listen, I get the show off. You and I don't understand it, because why would you throw so much money, so much resource, so much time on just saying, hey, look at me and look at what I've done, if you can't sell the product? Yep. So that I don't understand at all, but I guess vanity is part of it. So Josh, we are going to a lot of events. Okay. Now, I actually find these evening events and these suites to be actually where money, connections, relationships are being done.
Yes.
So can you give some tips to people? First, how you get into these suites and these rooms, and secondary is when you get there. Yep. How do you work the room?
So first things first, how you get into all these events is LinkedIn. That's it. Because here's how it runs generally. They usually use Luma.ai or any of these other platforms or Eventbrite. They get a list, you sign up, it's like a wait list. And then you've got someone on their marketing department who's looking through the people and saying, all right, he's potentially useful, he's a zero, he's gone. And then that's how and then you get an invite saying you're accepted. So make sure your LinkedIn's really like acceptable, it's professional, and that you actually showcase your skills on there, the stuff you're talking about, the stuff you're posting about. Like for example, like most of the posts that come out of my LinkedIn, I don't post much, but what does come out is either AI, gaming, or blockchain.
He doesn't post much.
No, not at all. But what people can see is that I have a lot of connections, I've got a lot of recommendations, I've got a lot of designations, all of that stuff. And any of the stuff I am tagged in are usually from Fortune 100 companies. So people are like, oh, well, this guy's, doing something. So then I get accepted to the wait list or whatever. From there, once you get into the event and you've, got past that first barrier, then you need to essentially from there, just start talking to people. You're not going to walk into the room and know people. That's the big thing. You just aren't. It's just not reality. So you need to just, start chatting and seeing what people are there for, seeing what they're trying to achieve. You should always listen more than you talk, though. Super important.
I'm on my phone and I apologize because Tien just arrived and I'm trying to kind of coordinate him to get here. So truly apologize for being on my phone during this, but just wanted to bring Tien in. But guys, Josh, how many CESs have you done?
This will be my fourth, I think.
Fourth CES. There is so much to learn, and I know that I get better from event to event. And with gigantic events like CES, you got to also learn how to not waste your time.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you can just waste your time all day long. Now, can you have some fun? Yes, have some fun. Okay? Enjoy. Like the other day, Josh was making fun of me that I sat for 10 minutes on a massage chair.
Yeah.
It was fun. The guy that sold it was really impressive. I wanted to create a relationship, and I think there's gonna be some work done. But I got a lot of shit from this guy. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop wasting time. But you gotta know how to enjoy yourself. But also, you're here for a mission. You're here to create as many relationships, as many connections. After 3 days of CES, you need to go back with hundreds of leads. Literally hundreds of leads. And let me give you a little old school tip, and then I would love for you to hear because this is super old school. So I've been networking for the better part of 30 years. Okay. I love networking. When I take somebody's business card, I want to evaluate who that person is, and I know I'm going to meet another 100 people that day, so I'm going to remember that guy at the end of the day. So when I get the card, I have a system. It's either an A, B, or C. An A is somebody like Josh, for instance. I would meet Josh, and I didn't know him. He would be an A. I need to talk to this guy. I need to sit down. We need to figure this out. So that is a priority for my team to set up those meetings. B is potential. Let's reach out. Let's see if there's something. There was some connection. Something was going on, but it wasn't something that I know we can make something of. And then C, which is just be nice. You never know. You never know who's gonna go anywhere, who's gonna become something. You never know which company they're gonna go. So just be nice, kind, and give value. Also, I actually write on those business cards, like I wrote your name a couple of times in business cards. Oh, I need to introduce Josh to this guy. I need to introduce, Anel from our team to this guy. Met an Estonian guy that, Alin's from Estonia. Let's connect them. Shout out Anel. So basically, you gotta learn how to do it, and you gotta get better. And you won't remember all the people. And maybe that first guy would be the guy that you're gonna do so much business with. But in the end of the day, you don't remember him, so you don't do the right follow-up. So you're here to get connections. You're here to grow. So you got to put the effort in to make sure that you create that. How do you do it? I know you're not a business card guy.
No, I'm not. I went paperless. No, but I kind of prioritize people based upon, I kind of put them into three categories, really. One, I want to help them. I want to provide value to them. There's nothing for me to gain, really, but I like what they're trying to do. I like their product, and I just want to help. And that's one for me. Number two is referrals. So if I can refer them to somebody, that's great. If they need something, that's the first thing I always ask is, what are they trying to achieve? Like, what's their whole goal? Once I figure that out, then if I can help them in some way, refer them to someone, then that's great. The other one's leads, like prospects, people who need my help and obviously want to pay for it. That's the greatest one. But that's generally the last point in the conversation that I'm looking for, because I'm always looking to provide more value than I get back. It always has paid.
That's why I love him, by the way. And that's why we get along so well, because I think we both come to a place that we first deliver value.
Yep.
Okay, whether you want it or not, we can deliver value. If you want to grow from there, great. But that's why I love working with you, man. Tien Wang is going to join us. And I don't even know if he remembers this, but Tien and I go back a long, long time. To those of you that know Tien, he's just a fantastic human being. just a tech giant. But people don't know this, and he might not know this, but Tien is the guy that challenged me to do my first LinkedIn video.
There you go.
So he invited me for breakfast. We used to do that back in the day in Founding Farmers in Tyson's Corner. And we had a great breakfast. And then he told me, Zev, you need to do more on LinkedIn. And this was like 10 years ago, guys. And I was like, yeah, what do you mean? He's like, there's a new beta video on LinkedIn, and you should do it. You'd be good. So he challenged me to make my first video on LinkedIn about 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. And that's how I started posting. And Tien, it's your fault. We put so much content on. But hopefully Tien will get here in a few, and we'll share a little bit about what he does. But he's the guy that got me started in this thing. He's also a great networker. Tien runs this organization called Connectpreneur, which he's going to speak a bunch about. But it's such a great, VC angel community. I actually found employees multiple times in Connectpreneur. I found clients in Connectpreneur. I found amazing technology to partner with in Connectpreneur. So Tien has been such a powerful guy in the DC East Coast tech life and in my own life. And he's such a kind and great dude. And I wonder if you remember that he's the guy that challenged me to start all this content on LinkedIn. So all of you guys that's been watching us do this, it's Tien's fault. We'll blame him when he comes. So before Tien comes, let's talk about a couple of things about CES. So CES has a bunch of locations. You see a plane passing us. How do you decide what to do every day? My advice is don't try to do too much because there's so much traffic, so much Uber lines, walking. So I try to take a location and really conquer it for the day. How do you deal with that?
So it's kind of evolved over time. Initially, when I first started coming to CES, nobody knew who I was, nobody cared. And I had to go out, and it was just I'd pick one location per day. I'd do that location that day, and that'd be it. And across the 3-4 days, you do 3-4 different locations, and then you get it covered. And now it's evolved where a lot of the time, to be honest with you, I don't have that much time to hit the convention floor. I have meetings already booked. People that I know, like in Vegas or tech people, are reaching out and saying, "Hey, Josh, you coming? Like, come to this dinner. Let's talk. Let's chat." That's kind of where it's at now, but it's just pick a location, stick to it. Don't try and keep going around to everywhere. You'll just get nothing done and get frustrated. The one advice I'd give is that if you're here to look at things, go to the main stage. Go to the main area, go and see all the cool booths and stuff like that. But you're not really going to get any value there if you're trying to build business. You really aren't. I mean, like, it sounds terrible to say, but Samsung doesn't really care about who they meet at conferences because they are just hired staff who don't really actually know anything about the product. They're just like, oh, we've a cool TV, look at it. Or handing out some t-shirts or something. If you're really looking to, and the real truth about it is, 90% of the BD people for them organizations are in the hotels nearby, in the Bellagio, the Venetian, whatever it is, and they have suites for business meetings. They're not doing them on the floor in the booth. That's just not how it really typically rolls. If it's a mid-market organization, that's slightly different. But yeah, it's very much that.
I love that. So when you go on the floor, okay, there are the giants that, again, they don't care. Okay, they're there to showcase what they want. They have a BD person there that will scan your badge, but there's not going to be much there. Then on the other side, there's a whole lot of startups, like we said before, they don't really know where they're going. They're just trying to validate their technology. So that's not there. But the few kind of, it's not unicorns because it's more than that, but those mid-market or those funded startups that not only are looking to showcase, but are looking to grow and have a good plan. Far and very few and far between. But they're there. But all the big stuff happens in the suites and in the meeting rooms. It's not happening on the expo floor. You don't close millions of dollars on the expo floor. You don't create, years of relationship on the expo floor. You do it in a suite when it's a few people. You're sitting down, and you need to get yourself into those suites. And it's not simple. But just shoot 100 times, you'll get some. And again, all depends on how good your LinkedIn is, your reputation, who you are, what you've done in the market, how well known your name is.
Yeah, and the product is as well, and how aggressive you are at selling. I mean, nobody likes someone who's aggressive at selling in CS. people. What the thing, I was saying this yesterday too. CES is selling or getting sold to. That is it. Like and it's kind of like it's a fine balance between where you're at there. Like I got a call from one of the guys I'm working with, and he's like, Josh, how many people have you closed? And I was like, today I think I'm actually getting sold to more than I'm selling anything. Still selling stuff, but it's a fine balancing act. You just have to see how the conversations flow, because if you're that guy that constantly is just trying to ram your product down people's throat, they don't like it.
And no, they won't want to talk to you.
Yes.
They want a relationship. People are people, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. People are people. Be nice. Be
Yeah.
kind. Be a human. I'll tell you a story. Super funny. You and I were in a booth.
Yes.
It was Tooney's booth. The only reason I was there is my kids freaking love it, and Elise loves Disney. So we were there. Suddenly, a lady just started talking to us. Okay. Turns out that lady works for one of our clients. Okay, we don't know her. We don't. It was such a bizarre thing, and we were just nice to her. And now I bet you the relationship between the companies are going to get stronger. Okay, now they met us. Now we're going to create a relationship. Now we know more people in the business, and it all happened because we were kind and nice. And it was not about selling anything to anybody. It was about creating relationships that grow.
Yep.
So don't try to sell too much. Don't hit everybody on the head. Try to help. Try to assist. In CS, you can help people even by pointing them the right way.
Yes.
Okay, like a lot of people here really have no clue what's
Well, they've
going
never been
on.
here before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like a funny thing was I was at dinner last night, and the people I was going to dinner with were like, I was like 40 minutes late or something like that, and it was because never been to Vegas before. It was amazing. They were like, I went in circles like 6 times, and that's the reality of CES.
If you get a car from the Venetian, like an Uber from the Venetian, you go somewhere 5 minutes, next, it's going to take you half an hour to
Yes.
get that Uber. Okay, because there's 10,000 other people that want an Uber from the same exact place.
Fair enough, walk.
This morning, the reason that Tien is not here, he waited 30 minutes for his Uber, and then it took him another 30 minutes to drive, a 5-minute drive, and then to get into the convention center is another. You got to run through things, so everything here takes more time. That's why I love staying in one location, not going too crazy. But everything here takes time. If you want to go from one place to another, it's going to take you a whole lot of time, and you can't afford to waste it because there's only 3.5 days of work here. So don't waste it on walking from place to place.
Yes.
But CES is a great workout. Like,
you get 30,
you get to
30,000
work
steps in.
20 miles a day. It's crazy. It's like back to military, especially here in the convention center where we are now. So much walking.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So get
wear good
hydrated.
shoes. That's a good one.
Yes.
I and this is a funny one. I used to wear suit shoes to conferences. I stopped doing that and I started wearing joggers. I was like, you know what? Because here's the thing. Day one, after that, my feet would just hurt. And like I'm a very active dude. I run every day, whatever. My feet never hurt. And I was like, you know what? This is actually really bad. And I was in New York one time at a conference, and I actually blew out my meniscus.
When?
This was like about 2 years ago.
Wow.
It was at NFTMIC.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I remember you were saying, why are you limping?
Yeah.
So,
I remember.
Yeah. So I blew out my meniscus by just wearing the wrong footwear and walking more than I'm well used to walking in a day.
Standing more than you're used to standing, not eating, not drinking, not sleeping too. Like, Josh and I probably have not slept much over the last couple of nights, traveling, working, hotel stuff. So everything. Yesterday, I was walking back to the hotel, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock. My feet were hurting. Josh, my feet never hurt. I stand all day. I am super active. I work out all the time. My feet were hurting.
Yes.
Like, hey. And I was not as smart as Josh. Didn't bring my my sneakers, but next time I might. That's a good thing. I learn from you every day.
Yeah. Listen, after you do that, you're like, oh my god. Like I got to the stage where I had to wear a knee brace for after that. It was horrible, and you you don't need it because you want to be talking to people. You're going to be walking around, and but also it comes back to planning. That specific conference, we were hopping around like Blue Arcs Fly, which was a mess.
And NYC NFT is it's known for a lot of fun stuff. So
Yes.
you guys had fun. So as we're waiting here for Tien, let's see if he's here with us. He's coming right now. So how would you suggest the people that are in CES or coming for next year, give them a couple of tips of how to really make the best out of this week?
So have an easy. Here's the one I think that one thing I think is super important. Have an easy way to explain your product. And I've even found myself doing this. I'd be talking to someone and I'm explaining to them what the product is, and I realize I just explained that really bad. That was a really bad explanation on what I do. I was like, and you didn't just say to yourself, God, I wish I could do that again. Have a very strict elevator pitch that you can give to people. You should be able to tell people, very easily. Like, I built software. I built software for XYZ demographic. So you don't want to, cause issues,
Dude,
super
so good to
important.
see you.
And
Thank you. Have a
yeah.
seat. Okay. Right in the middle. Guys, we have Tien joining
I'm
us.
so sorry. Hey guys.
There we go. Tilt it that way. Nope. Yeah. There you go. Slightly more. You're good.
Perfect.
Nice.
Is this on LinkedIn?
This is live on LinkedIn. It's also live on YouTube. It's also live on X and Facebook. Tien, welcome, my friend. Guys, Tien is one of the only people I can call a mentor, the only people that I actually look up to, which is a hard thing to do. Tien, I shared a story here. I don't know if you know this. About 10 years ago, you invited me for breakfast in Founding Farmers.
I remember that, yeah.
We had a breakfast, and Tien challenged me. He said, Zev, you're so good and stuff like that. You should be live on LinkedIn. You should do videos.
Yeah.
And the day after that, I made
Started
my first
doing videos. I
my
remember that,
first
yeah.
video. So it's all because of you. So guys, if you like it or don't like it, blame Tien Wong, please. Tien, share with us a little bit. You are an amazing guy, okay? You're one of the most connected entrepreneurs in DC. You've founded so many tech companies. You've helped so many people. You have Connectpreneur. Can you share with us a little bit about who you are and how you help the tech industry in DC or in the world?
So, well, I'm the founder of Connectpreneur. This is our 14th year, by the way.
Congratulations.
And we've had about 900 companies present in our various forums. And a little over half have gotten funding from investors they met at our forum. And I started the business as an event, just sort of like as an event to mash up investors and founders, because I had sold my company a few years earlier, and I had made some investments. And living in DC, it wasn't as vibrant of a investment community as things are out here on the West Coast. So I'm like, well, I'd love to do something where I can bring my other co-investors together and some of the companies I had invested in, and have some panels and just kind of, there was no strategy. It was just, I was trying to help serve myself, really. I wanted to have an event where I could see other investors and other founders. And that's how we started Connectpreneur. And then it kind of grew on its own. And I think to date, we've done about 120 in-person events and another 100-something virtual. And the virtual events are almost monthly, and they're the largest virtual pitch events in the world. So this year we're doing 7 events on the East Coast in person. So that's Baltimore, Northern Virginia, DC, Montgomery County, Maryland. And then we're going to do 7 on the West Coast, starting with Sunday. We're hosting a 600-person investor brunch at the JP Morgan week festivity. So we're starting things on Sunday with a pretty big event. Yeah. And so we'll do 7 on the West Coast. And I think we're doing 10 or 11 virtual events also. And everything's on our website, connectpreneur.org.
If somebody that's watching can put connectpreneur.org on the comments so everybody can know. If you've never been to a Connectpreneur, which I love your events, man, it's amazing. I don't know if you know this, but I've hired people that I met in your events.
I didn't know.
Yes, actually, seeing, if you're watching this, thank you. A brilliant lady from China that then worked for us. Now she works for Google. Still a great friend. I've had clients from your.
Sure.
It's amazing. So if you've never been to a Connectpreneur, please come in. Now, I don't think you know Josh. Josh is our CTO. I really wanted to introduce you to him. So Josh has never been in a Connectpreneur. Can you share with Josh and people like Josh that have companies and ideas that want to get investments, why they should, go to, why they should apply to be in Connect?
Yeah, I think, well, if you're raising money and you're sort of post-seed, pre-A, A round, that's perfect for our investor base. So you can apply. We have a committee approval and review procedure, and then after we get you approved, then we have a lot of professionals who help polish the deck and the executive summary, and they do rehearsals and dry runs. And then you'll be ready to present. But it's a great way to raise capital. It's a great way to meet people. Your network is your net worth. So if you're building your network with other founders or with other leading service providers, attorneys, accountants, bankers, investment bankers. So not everybody's an investor or a founder, but also you'll meet a lot of investors.
Awesome. Thank you for putting the Connectpreneur, guys. Really appreciate it. So you have an event on Sunday, but that's an invite only, right?
Yeah, that's in San Francisco too. If anyone's out for JP Morgan San Francisco, just DM me or email me, twong@opus8.com. I can get you info on the brunch. It's almost sold out right now.
Almost sold out. Tien Wong at opus8.com, right?
Yeah.
Again, if somebody from the chat can put Tien Wong at opus8.
No, T Wong.
T Wong, sorry.
Yeah.
T Wong, TWONG at opus8.com. You can reach out to Tien. I would really, really recommend everybody to look at what Tien's doing. Look at Connectpreneur. Tien's really busy. It's very hard to get him to get him one-on-one, but if you can, it's a blessing. Tien knows everybody, and he's such a kind person. You've grown a business, and you've helped so many people grow businesses. Thank you, man.
No, it's my pleasure.
So
I kind of get a lot of excitement out of that, seeing you guys grow, and Freddie and all these other friends of mine. They're doing well. It's really good because you guys are doing so much good.
Association is key.
Yeah.
Okay. Associating with you and Fred and Josh, it's just when you associate with the right people, it becomes easier to grow. It's almost like a biological thing.
I wrote a blog post about 2 weeks ago on easy, the key to a great business and life, and I got it from Naval Ravikant. So he's like, choose easy people to deal with, easy friends, easy family members, easy coworkers, easy business partners, and just avoid everything else. And if you can connect and work well with people, it makes your life so much easier. Friends, especially, people that are not easy, don't spend so much time with them. People that are easy, you can spend more time with them.
A little more.
You know what I'm talking about.
I completely do, but even more. Spend time with people that you see stuff in them that maybe they don't even see in themselves. Both these gentlemen here, I know you guys see a lot of yourself, don't get me wrong, but I see so much in you. Like, there's so much, like when I see you, Tien, when I see you, Josh, I'm like, wow, like you guys bring so much. Hang out with people like that. Be in with people that you see their light. You see what they bring. They inspire you. Like, I love hanging out with people like you because you inspire me to be better. Everything that you do inspires me to do more.
Thanks for saying that.
It's true. It's completely true. The busier you are and the more you do, the more willing you are to help, usually. Now, you got to find the time. But when I find people like you that's been around and created and helped so many people, if you find somebody with true value, you'll help them.
Yes.
Now, if they don't have true value, you'll pass them on and you're like, all right, don't call me again, but you'll help them. So how can people try to reach out to you and figure out if maybe you can help them move forward?
I'm pretty accessible. You can find me on LinkedIn. My email I just gave. I'm on Twitter. You can direct message me. And I try to be helpful if I can. If I can't, I'll tell you, hey, I can't be helpful. Go talk to Zev, or go talk to Fred, or go talk to someone who can be helpful. I want to be helpful in a way that I feel like I have some knowledge about the area. I'm not going to try to be helpful on stuff that I don't really know much about.
And that's why you're great, man. Because if you try to do things you don't understand, you just mess up everything.
Well, that's a good thing for taking advice. I had a dinner with the football coach of the Washington Commanders, and Ron Rivera is his name, and one of the biggest things I got out of that year. This was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It was like 10 of us having dinner, and he said, "Yeah, one of his mentors once told him, don't show me a map if you have not been there before." So I always tell my team, "Who gave you that advice? Have they been there before? If they haven't, just ignore it. If they have, then okay, that's a data point, one data point. Collect multiple." But I mean, that's the thing. Everyone wants to give you advice. Make sure you're listening more carefully to the ones that are giving you advice who've been there before, so they've seen something. Like if I wanted advice on how to navigate CES, which I should have done because this is my first one and I had no idea about the traffic in the morning or last night, I should have called someone who's been here a lot. They would have given me the lowdown on what to do and how to prepare and all that other stuff. But
100%.
yeah.
Even more so, like there are people that are close to us. We all have family members that we love. We all have friends that we love. You can't take advice, even from the people you love very much, if they have not been there before. Bless my
And they
mother.
mean well. They totally mean well. They want to help.
Let me do this.
Everyone wants to help, right?
Yep.
But if you haven't been there before, you can take their advice and go down the wrong path.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, I do not take business advice from a politician and a teacher, right? Like how they can help. There's no way, but I will take advice from you because you've done it. And a lot of times, guys, when you fail, you learn a lot. So not only take advice from people that have been there, take advice from people that have been there and failed along the way, because these guys know the lessons. Like there are scars that they can save you by sharing with you the pain that they've had.
Yeah.
Josh, as a younger guy that deals a lot with VCs and angels, how do you find the right people to help your cause?
I got told this a very long time ago by some of the friends at the various firms in San
You from
Francisco.
Ireland?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what I got told was, Josh, don't be a dick and don't associate with people that are dicks. Do that and you will be fine. Build a good product with a good market fit, prove traction, don't do things based upon theories and theses. Actually show actionable data that backs up what you're talking about and you will be fine and you will succeed. And one other thing I always got told was, it's always easier to do things on other people's money than your own. So I always got told that. So, like I've always bootstrapped every single one of my companies. Now I'm in the VC space, we've raised capital, done all that stuff. But I always came from a point of everything that was getting put in was my own. So, I became a good custodian of capital, so to speak. And once you come from that mindset, that's very well respected, because there's too many people in the startup space now who they just blow through capital. They raise a $20 million pre-seed round or whatever on this great idea, especially with AI, blockchain buzzwords. And then all of a sudden, a year later, they've no money. And they have to go raise again. And everyone's sitting there wondering how it happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have too much cash,
Yes, it's a problem.
you find it to be a problem and you just burn it for no good reason.
Yeah.
A lot of companies I know just got too much money and just burned it way too fast and
There's a
ruined
lot of
great idea.
successful guys that, like Damon John, the Shark, or Grant Cardone. One of their mantras is act broke. And these guys are rich. I mean, obviously, but they always act broke. Because they remember when they started on the come up, they had no money, nothing. They were scraping, so they never changed that mindset. So yeah, you're making money, but their attitude is more deploy it, invest it, don't spend it. I mean, of course, spend it a little bit, but don't overdo it. And I think for companies, it's the same thing. Companies should make profit, not dumb. If you want to come out to CES, have a booth, bring some people, that's not a waste of money. That's marketing that could be spent well, depending on what you're doing. But yeah, I think it's and also if you have too much cash in the bank, you have a lot of you're comfortable.
Yep.
You're not as hungry, right?
Yep.
You want to stay hungry and be a little uncomfortable. Where's my next meal coming from? As opposed to, wow, I got all this money in the bank and I don't need to work as hard. And that's a dangerous thing.
My partners know it. So with me, like we always move, like we never leave a lot of because I don't like to operate.
Yeah.
And I want to create.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you on that, and I'm like that.
But some people do get a little bit complacent. They've achieved a certain. I've seen this with some founders I work with. There's like maybe two founders. One is really hungry, and the other one is kind of hungry, but then they've been successful. And then the guy that's kind of hungry starts being less hungry and stops working as hard. And this guy keeps grinding, and then they have to get a divorce or something, you know. But you see that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it all quite a few times. Yeah.
So many times.
You know.
Partnerships are like marriage. And
Yeah.
you cannot go into partnerships. Josh is the only guy I went to a 50-50 partnership in the last
Okay.
20 years. And it is so hard, okay? Like, partnerships are like marriage, and if you get in with the wrong person, and we've seen so much of it,
Yes, a lot.
so much. It is so hard, and it ruins good ideas. It ruins like all the work you've done. So be very careful in who you partner with, and partner with somebody for the long term.
Yep.
Like, ask yourself, do I want to sit down with Tien in 20 years, you know, somewhere? If the answer is no, don't partner up. You know, work with people you like, and
Yeah.
it's easy, right?
Much easier. Yeah, and the
Absolutely.
long game, playing the long game is key. That way, if you have a couple blips along the way, no big deal. You're playing the long game, and you know that if you keep doing the right things, eventually things will work out well.
And I would love to hear your perspective on this. In
Yeah.
business, I felt like business, there's good times and bad times always.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can be in a higher place with the bad times come, or a lower place when the good times come.
Right.
But there's always that pendulum swing.
Always.
So if you're in a downturn, okay, it can change if you will change it, and an upturn will come, and again a downturn will come. We are
Yeah.
never linearly going up, and if you're trying to do that, you will fail and you will destroy your soul in the process. So understand that there's gonna be bad time. You just gotta limit that swing and make sure that when the swing goes there, you're prepared for it
Yeah.
and you have what to eat.
Right. You just need to know, trust what you're doing is great, and just know that you're going to come out of it. And if you do it a few times, then you get used to it, and then it becomes something that you're not afraid of anymore. But you're right about the mindset thing. If you start getting your confidence beaten up, or you start feeling a little depressed or upset, that can really have a bad impact on what you're doing, and also to have a bad impact on your teammates, because they can feel you. So you really, something that people don't really talk about much with entrepreneurship is the ability to try to be as steady mentally as possible. I know it's hard for some people, for most people, but just instead of going up and down like this, just kind of stay within a tight band, and don't get too high and don't get too low. And just know that if you're going through bad times, the storm's going to pass, and things are never really as bad as you think they are.
Yeah.
That your amygdala, your reptile brain tries to create all kinds of big fear. Oh, I'm going to go under, I'm going to go bankrupt, but it's never as bad as you think. And conversely, it's never as good as you think. So you might have a great stretch, but it's never really as great, and it's never permanent. So don't. Yeah.
And it's always darkest before the sun shines. You guys, you have no idea. Personally, and many, many friends, I've known people that right now are sitting pretty, hundreds of millions of dollars. You think that they can't lose. But these guys, a day before they got their investment, they didn't know how to pay them.
Look at SpaceX with Elon Musk. He almost went under. Or FedEx with Fred Smith. He almost went under. He had to fly to Vegas here, and he gambled. I think he made like 70 grand playing casino, and he used that to buy jet fuel because he was running out of jet fuel, running out of cash. You hear these stories all the time. It's amazing. Like, if he didn't win, then there would be no FedEx.
Absolutely. I know a guy that was about to lose his company completely, and now he's worth, I think, $500 million. And he used some Shiba Inu. So he invested in some crypto Shiba Inu, and it jumped. He took that money. He took that money and he revived this company. And right now he's, I think, in a valuation of $400 million. So it's like, guys, understand that, right before the sun comes out, there's going to be a test. You're a gamer, right?
Yep.
I truly believe in this. Like, before you finish a stage, the boss comes, right?
Yes.
The boss of the stage comes, and that's a fight.
Yep.
Okay, that's somebody that is equal power to you, and you need to fight this to kind of move on. So I want to just give it to you. Share a little bit, some advice with the people that are watching. You're just such a great guy, and you've helped so many people. I would just love to hear from
The
you.
audience is mostly, what is it, entrepreneurs or investors?
So it's mainly executives, entrepreneurs, East Coast. We have about 130 attendees on this one.
Oh, wow.
Probably get a few more people, but a lot of great people. C-suite plus people that are growing into it. Some entrepreneurs, some investors.
Technology or non-tech? Or?
Mostly technology.
Mostly tech. Okay, so we're here at CES, and for those of you who have attended here or any other tech conference in the last 18 months, the key word is AI. So I think if you're an executive, if you're a middle level executive, or even an upper C-suite executive, you have to get schooled quickly on, what is artificial intelligence and how does it impact your business? How does it impact your customers? How is it impacting your competitors? And what are the things you can do tactically to survive and actually thrive in the next 2 to 4 years? And then also strategically where you need to be in 5 to 10 years, because this thing's moving really fast. I think we sat through a couple of presentations and keynotes. And one thing I can say is that this thing is moving very, very fast. So, you saw the cloud computing thing that took 3 to 5 years. This is taking months, 2 to 3 years even. And you're seeing, for example, OpenAI coming out with new versions all the time that are like exponentially better than the prior version. It's not incremental.
Yeah.
Usually when you see software version upgrades, it's incremental. This is exponential. And Jensen yesterday, he said that at NVIDIA, he said that he's rolling out a $3,000 machine that is a supercomputer.
Mm-hmm.
You put on your desk. It's 1,000 times stronger than or more powerful than a regular laptop. 1,000 times more for 3 times the cost.
Crazy.
And that will allow people that are also AI is democratizing coding too. So a lot of the technical people on the call or whatever. Now you got guys like Zeb and I. We can actually do low code, no code creation of AI agents. And I've experimented with it, and I'm not technical. And I've been able to do some work on Bolt and some other platforms. So if I can do it, it's only going to get easier. And maybe in 6 months or 12 months, it'll be real easy. I can just talk it right into my iPhone and create AI agents on the fly. But this is going to change the way you guys are doing business. And I think it's one of the few things that live up to its hype. You know how things never really live up to the hype? Yeah. This thing is living up to its hype, and I think that it pays for you to. You guys are technology people, so I think you got to learn on a general basis what's happening, and then go specific and look at all the top players. What are they coming out with, and not just the top big players like Google, Facebook, NVIDIA, but also some of the upstart groups, and then try to figure out how does that affect how you can do your business cheaper, better, faster, and how can you serve your customer better, and then how can you take market share from your competitors. So that would be sort of something, that would be a good goal for 2025, is to sort of get your AI strategy and your AI playbook in order so you can execute on that and kick some ass.
Awesome. Tien, thank you, man. Guys, in the next 3 years, technology is going to jump like the last 30. That's why I'm partnering with amazing guys like Josh. That's why I'm getting mentored by, sorry, somebody just passed through our camera. But thank you very much, Tien. We'll put all your information. You've been an amazing guest.
Are you recording this too?
Everything is recorded. We'll send it to you. Absolutely. Guys, see you in our next live.
Take care.
And they're top right.